part of our ongoing Q&A series. I'm answering questions that our YouTube viewers have posed to us in the comment section of many of our videos, or some of our videos. If you have a question or comment about this video or about anything else that is related to emotional or behavioral health and well-being, please feel free and leave that question or comment, and we'll do our best to get back to it in a timely manner, probably with a video. So this question was sort of broad, but basically, what are the benefits and ways to lose weight without dieting? Now, I'm recording this with a few weeks to come before New Year's, and we all know that one of the most common New Year's resolution is to lose weight or to improve eating habits or start exercising. Now, I will mention that I've been a professional hypnotist since 2007, my wife Gina since 2015, and we've helped countless people with improve their eating habits and lose weight. Although hypnosis by itself does not affect weight, it can help change the behaviors that lead to weight gain or weight loss. I also happen to have a master's degree in nutrition, although I found that nutrition-based counseling is not very helpful when it comes to weight loss, simply because most people who struggle with their weight, 40+% of Americans are obese, 70+% are overweight. Most people who struggle with their weight are not struggling because they don't know what to do. They're just having trouble doing it consistently. And that doesn't get solved simply by good advice. There's a subconscious reason for that. Okay, so having said that, let me read what my response was. There are several things that people can do that do not involve willpower, which usually always fails, in order to lose weight. So what are some benefits of losing weight without going on a strict diet? Well, first, the problem with strict dieting is that it's like the beach ball effect or pendulum effect. The rebound from extreme restriction tends to lead to extreme overeating, which is one reason for yo-yo dieting. And that's why it can be very hard to get back on track when someone eats well for a bit and then falls off the wagon. Since willpower is a conscious level tool, and since most eating habits or weight issues result from subconscious programs, which are beliefs around eating, body image, emotional issues, environmental, social triggers, habits, and so on, willpower does not work for very long, and it only works when there is minimal stress. And that's why diets fail 95% of the time, and when it comes to smoking, quitting cold turkey fails about the same amount, 95% of the time. So strictness is a bad idea in most cases, since it leads to a loss of self-control almost inevitably. So the benefit of losing weight without a strict diet is that it's much more likely to be sustainable. Even though the weight loss process may be slower, the modified diet, as opposed to an extreme, restriction, is much less likely to be disruptive to the man or woman who's trying to lose weight. So the real question is not so much about the benefits, it's about how do you lose weight without a strict diet? And that's the next question. So there are a couple tips. First, I'd recommend you watch, there's a short video which will explain in more detail, and that's what I wrote to this person rather than repeating what the video said. There's a video on our website, goodwinhypnosis.com, on the common challenges page, because this applies to a lot of issues. It's called Understanding and Resolving Internal Conflict. It's also on our YouTube channel. Now, here's the thing. That will explain the conscious and subconscious mind battling each other, and the conscious mind wants to lose weight. The subconscious is committed to maintaining the status quo. That video explains it all. Now, more important is to change how you think at a subconscious level about food and what it does for you. Now, of course, I use hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, to help my clients make changes much more easily and quickly than through white-knuckling it with willpower and restriction and power, effort and all of that, typical dieting. But conceptually, here's my advice. First, identify how the unhealthy habits that you have are helping you. Because there is no bad habit. There are habits that may be unhealthy in the long run, but in the short term, they serve a good purpose. They make you feel better, typically. So identify how those unhealthy habits help you and find alternative ways to get that benefit. Now, as for eating, the answer is almost always that it distracts from unpleasant thoughts or provides temporary comfort or pleasure. And by the way, that's the same with virtually all addictions or compulsive habits. So the shortest path to clearing the habit, changing the behavior, because that's a symptom of the emotion, is to reduce the emotional stress so there's less of a need to rely on food or alcohol or smoking or whatever it might be to feel good. Now, ideally, figure out why your mind is generating unpleasant thoughts or emotions to begin with, and then clear that core issue. Now, as a side note, I'll mention that most of the work that my wife Gina and I do is related to clearing emotional trauma and the effects that has on someone emotionally and behaviorally. With almost every single person, we're able to help clear the negative emotional charge from unpleasant or traumatic memories, however big the trauma, however small the trauma, doesn't matter. It works with nearly everyone. And that just makes behavioral change and belief change much easier when that emotional charge is gone. You can find more information about what the trauma work we do on our website. So most of the work as a hypnotist, I wrote here, involves clearing the core issue, and that has nothing directly to do with eating or weight. But once the thoughts or emotions are balanced, the eating behaviors usually change automatically. And that's the most important tip I can share because it deals with the root issue and not simply surface level behavioral modification like eat this, don't eat that. Here's what I found. Most of the time when I've worked with people who want to improve their eating habits or, quit eating junk food so they can lose weight, just by clearing the underlying emotional charge and the beliefs that create extra emotional stress, very often the behavior changes automatically, and I never had to hypnotize them to eat healthy. It wasn't necessary in many cases because they already knew what they should be doing. They just couldn't help themselves. So hopefully that was helpful for you because it's a little different approach than your typical medical doctor or psychotherapist and certainly nutritionist, which was my former life. Those people will give you advice that's useful on its own, but ultimately useful advice is only useful if it actually helps you change something. So there's also a free resource called The 7 Keys to Achieving Your Goal Now, and also Getting Out of Your Own Way. They're both available free of charge for at the link that I'm pasting in the description. So get that resource. It will help make it easier for you, whatever your goal may be. And I wish you the very best with your goals.